Good evening, sir, once more. So my question for you is, I want to know your take on the youth's interest in politics. Do you think we have more interest now as compared to before, or is it less as compared to your time?
All right, there are two ways to look at it. I would say easily that many more young people are interested in politics now than ever. Back then, what happened is, if you go through the history, you'd find out that many of those we acclaim as leaders, at the time they held the reins of power and governance, they were young people relatively, but those were circumstances that demanded that. The struggle for independence at that time, a lot of those who were in the struggle were young people, and so you found out that the older generation at that time didn't have the energy to go out and really fight for what was at stake. But yes, that era came and there were young people relatively now, and Nigeria was able to gain self-rule. Unfortunate incidents following those led to the breakdown of democratic institutions. And so you hear people talk about the military era, where very young officers held the reins of power. Now, that can be explained because the army then, the military then, was still a young institution. And so those who were at the helm of affairs were also relatively young, a reflection of the growing forces. So you found out that then you had people who were military governors. I know a particular military governor at that time who was barely 30 years old, 29 or thereabouts. And in fact, the head of state at that time, when he became head of state, was unmarried. He was a bachelor, and I'm talking about General Gowon. When he became head of state, he was a bachelor. And so you found out that young military officers were given positions like governors. Now, fast forward, when things changed, we found out that young people, for some reason, which I may not be able to explain because I can't, they were not the least interested in governance issues and politics. And so you found those at the return of democracy, you found those who were going into it, people who were in the Middle Ages and those who had advanced in age. And that trend continued. Now, in some parts of the country, it used to be that young people had little or no say in determining anything. So going by that, we found out that more and more were disinterested in politics, which was a vehicle to attain governance. But I think that has changed because the level of awareness has become so high. And a lot of people have said, if you must build a nation, the kind of nation that we deserve, then you cannot ignore the participation of this group of citizens. And they are the ones who have the energy, they are the ones who are well equipped to be able to take on evolving challenges and help to improve the country. So a drive began at some point in time to get more young people involved. Yes, there was resistance from, as usual, anyone would tell you that change is one of the most difficult things to achieve. But more and more young people have shown interest. I think that we would need more than what we have now. Because for me, I don't think we have, yes, I think more youth should be involved. Unfortunately, the society is skewed in such a way that they have challenges. But of course, their participation was facilitated by the not too young to run law. It was a landmark law that came in at a time when most people didn't think it would happen. But that bill scaled through and it became an act. So that has also provided the platform for more young people to be involved. Challenges, yes, they still have a lot of challenges because I'll tell you easily one of them is financial. A lot of young people do not muster the kind of financial muscle that is required, for the kind of politics we play. I mean, when you purchase a form, intent form at millions, then you begin to think how many young people have made millions, which they can afford to bring out to purchase just a form to show that I'm interested in running for office. But I believe that as time goes on, those things will be surmounted. And the more we hear young voices speaking out and channeling their energies towards a change, then the faster that change would come.
Wow. Thank you, sir.